setting a foundation for knowledge sharing, starting a journey as a lighthouse in HR space, and celebrating being togetherness. CHRO Leadership Forum is an association of experienced and senior HR professionals from Pune and Aurangabad city. CHRO Forum is a non-profit and non-government organization aiming to work towards proactive contribution towards development of HR fraternity through brainstorming, knowledge sharing, and coming together to play a role of active lighthouse. The foundation of the forum has been possible while senior leaders and decision makers came together being part of this forum, both from IT and manufacturing sector. Welcome again to this premium session of CHRO Leadership Forum. Today we have among with us our guest of honor, Shri Gite, Deputy Labour Commissioner, and also we have Shri N. Wadode, Director of Board of Apprenticeship Training, West Mumbai. May I request our honorable guest to come forward and light the diyas today for an auspicious starting. I'll also request Mr. Kaushal RM from Oxford Golf Club and also Mr. Mahesh from CIT. Welcome, sir. Grace this occasion with his words of wisdom. Please do come. Mr. Gite currently holds Office of Deputy Commissioner of Labour, Pune. He has close to 2 decades of enriched experience in the end-to-end HR, along with policy governance in government sector. Shri Gite has worked with both pharma and biotech industry, like Lupin, Wockhardt. Being a scholar himself in HR, Mr. Gite is passionate about continuous learning and knowledge sharing. May I request, sir, for words of wisdom from you. Thank you so much.
A very good evening to all ladies and gentlemen and all my beloved HR fraternities. First of all, I would like to thank Yogesh for organizing such a wonderful event, wonderful gathering over here to gather various stalwarts from the various sectors like IT sectors, manufacturing sectors, service sectors, and to have such a great knowledge sharing forum over here. Today he made my job very easy actually to Daya, Jadhav sir and guest of honor will get aram se, what you can say, ki, learn the things, understand the things, and the topic as mentioned over here, the new ways of working and the people and process dynamics. So day before yesterday, while interacting with him, Yogesh asked me, ki, sir, on which topic you would like to say? So I asked him, ki, yaar, sarkari aadmi sirf IR ke upar hi baat kar sakega. Because he's not aware about there are so many changes occurs after COVID or post-COVID. There are so many challenges across the organization, across the levels, everybody is facing over there. I think in terms of hiring, virtual hiring, the new thing I came to know that hybrid learning and development, there are so many things are over here. Then I requested him that he, Yogesh, being an government officer, my perspective is now to look from both the sides, either it's employee as well as employer. And I just came across one video, and it's a 4-minute video. I think most of the people are having in their WhatsApp data, but my request is that we just see that video once again together. And really this video will be the thought-provoking video for all the HR fraternities, how to go further as a human resource business partner, as we call it. So I request Yogesh, please, because I really like this video like anything.
By your company. Yes. What are your thoughts at this point? I'm feeling very bad. I'm feeling very bad for the HR. Poor folks. They have to go from where? Diversity and inclusion to adversity and expulsion in a snap. work from home, work from office, work for somebody else, just like that. And this after all those employee engagement activities to keep employees happy. Forget happy, they couldn't keep employees. They should have focused on keeping employees. No, this happiness is not their KRA. It is nobody's KRA. It comes from within. And not from, we have 6 types of tea and 4 types of coffee, 3 types of water in our pantry. Some of the folks they laid off were so new, they didn't get a chance to taste the 6 types of tea. And the companies wanting to be families. We are a company, we are a family. Why? Who started this confusion between hiring and adoption? You did not adopt me, you hired me. Awards and recognition and appreciation, real families just take each other for granted. But don't let go of each other. And this company gave away long service awards, people who have given 20-25 years of excellence for company's continued success. A week later, they did not have access to the company's network. Alright, at the company offsite, we celebrated the company tripling its revenue in a year. What happened a month later? We are so poor. Who robbed us? But while it lasted, the company was a huge part of my life, huge. Other than my government ID proofs, company name is everywhere. T-shirt, bag, water bottle, pen, notebook, cap, coffee mug, mask, weekends, everywhere, company name. It was easier to forget my ex than it is to forget this company now. Next job, I'm going to bluntly say no to any company merchandise. Only package, no baggage.
You don't seem to be worried about your career, you seem really calm.
I am calm because I am a techie, and techies are calm because they know they will always have calm as in work. See, it's like you fire the cook from the restaurant, no problem. The cook can fire her kitchen, her cloud kitchen, anywhere now. Techies are cooks. We are agile. As long as there are apps and appetite, cooks and techies will have calm. We are the calm.
So you're not worried about ChatGPT taking your job then?
You have to stop saying this. You sound like that guy when the calculators were invented. Oh, calculators are here. They're going to steal jobs. Whose jobs? Those guys who can only add and subtract. Oh, even if ChatGPT can take away our jobs, it'll have to get in line. Behind geopolitics and pandemic and investors and shareholders, I lost my job because the investors of the company were not sure their investment will become 400x in the coming year. How will we go to Mars? Someone else lost job because the investors thought, if the other company can lay off 12k people and still work as usual, shouldn't we also try? Artificial intelligence can never overtake human paranoia and human curiosity. AI can only do what human beings have been doing. Only humans can do what no human has ever done before. Have 24,000 people been laid off in a year ever before? Don't blame technology. Yesterday's postman is today's delivery executive. Yesterday's sysadmin is today's cloud engineer. ChatGPT is not eating into our jobs. ChatGPT has already made a meal out of my 4-year engineering course. Universities will have to do a course correction now, pun intended. What is there to be taught after all memorizing has been outsourced to the robot? Creativity and how to use ChatGPT. The only engineering course.
What do you think should change about employment and hiring?
Oh, a lot, no? But let's start with making HR round the first round of the interview process. Don't ask me why I want to join your company. Tell me, do you know why you're hiring? And that YouTube ad that starts with, hey, is it your dream to join manga funga companies? That needs to be edited because we are no longer going to say dream and company in the same sentence. I'm not going to make that blunder. I don't want to be your employee. I just want to be your vendor. Hashtag open for work.
You were recently laid off by your company.
Yes.
What are your thoughts at this point?
I'm feeling very bad. I'm feeling very bad for the HR. Poor folks.
So I saw that video, I came across with this video 8 days back, and at least 10 times I seen this video. The lady is saying that I'm a vendor now. The lady is saying that I'm agile. She's feeling bad because she got laid off. Simultaneously, she's not that much, what you can say, not depressed. And this is the challenge, I think, in coming years for all HR fraternities, I'll say. Because during any tough situations, all the responsibility, either it's a COVID kind of time, either it's a some share market crash is there. Then when things are goody, all well. If things are not goody, then this comes out of this. And unfortunately, in year 2023, everybody must have read that this company laid off so and so people, this company laid off so and so people. This company closed down their operations at Bangalore recently, blah, blah. I will not take the name of the company. So my request to all the panelists, all the HR stalwarts sitting over here, now it's a real time, we should have a great learning over here and some thought-provoking things should be there. So how we can go ahead in future, that is very, very important. This is what I think. So I once again thank Yogesh. You called me over here, gave me the opportunity to sit along with all the HR fraternities and to have a great learning session over here now. Thank you very much, Yogesh. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It was awesome. Very nice beginning, looking at both the aspects of an employer and employee. Going forward, I would like to invite Mr. N. Wadode, Director, Board of Apprenticeship, Training, West Region, Mumbai. Let's give a round of applause for Shri N. Wadode is currently associated with Board of Apprenticeship, Training, West Region, Mumbai. He has more than 2 decades of experience in policy formation and execution of training and skill development. Today, he is going to share his thoughts on CSR and human talent resourcing through NAT scheme.
Gite ji, Deputy Labour Commissioner Pune, all the panelists and all the stalwarts from HR fraternity and all my friends, of course, from HR activities. So I welcome all of you for this event, and basically I am also feel proud to interact with the audience today because all the CHROs are here, all stalwarts are here. I met so many people with whom I lost my connect since long. Like my mentor Mutalik ji is here. So Mutalik ji is acting like a brand ambassador for us, for a government scheme, NAT scheme. So wherever he goes, he immediately introduces our scheme there. And also counsel all his friends to go ahead with this activity. Similarly, there are so many people, those who interacted with us, worked with us, and impressed with our working, and therefore they are percolating the message to all the HR fraternities. So today I am going to deal with the topic, what we can say, the human resourcing through NATs. Now when we say human resourcing, definitely how the human resourcing can be possible through a government scheme. So definitely now it is possible because we have released all the restrictions which were imposed by the government earlier. So we have made these activities very user friendly or employer friendly, and that's why I can say that this scheme can help you in human resourcing. So I just want to introduce my the entire activity, how it happens, just in 5-10 minutes. Please, presentation please. So basically I am from the organization which is named as Board of Apprenticeship Training Western Region Mumbai. It's an autonomous organization of Government of India, Ministry of Education. And we implement apprenticeship training scheme, National Apprenticeship Training Scheme for graduate engineers and diploma engineers. Along with that, we implemented for pharmacy graduate and diploma holders, architectural graduate and diploma holders, HMCT graduate and diploma holders, And recently, since December 2021, one more feather is added to our activity, and that is non-engineering graduates. So now both can provide you human resource in all the sectors wherever you need a graduate, either a engineering graduate or non-engineering graduate. The implementation will happen through a portal. It's a national portal. So all the activities are now online. Like earlier, you may have faced some issues with the manual intervention and all that. So now everything is online. Right from the student enrollment to reimbursement, everything is happening online. So a very interactive portal is developed by Government of India, which is at the disposal of all the HR fraternities, and that can be utilized. Next, please. Next. So we are located at Mumbai, and we cover the entire western region. That comprise of Maharashtra, Goa, Gujarat, Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh, and one union territory. So entire implementation happens from Mumbai itself. So for every area there are different officers nominated. Like I am taking care of Pune, then Ahmednagar, Sangli, Satara, Kolhapur, Solapur, Ahmedabad, and Goa is also with me. So this entire area is implementation. I am responsible for that. Similarly, various officers are implementing in their area. Now similar to us, there are 3 other offices located across India, one at Kanpur, one at Chennai and one at Kolkata. So the entire India we can cover for this NATS through Board of Apprenticeship Training located at various locations. Next please. So this is what apprenticeship regime you all know. Out of that, one part we are handling, that is of graduate and graduate engineer, diploma engineers and non-engineering graduates. So that is our purview. We come under Ministry of Education. Like MSD, this is another activity handled by Ministry of Education. Instead of MSD, now we are with MOE. But very soon, maybe there are chances that by April, we will move to MSD again. So instead of having 2 different ministries, government is thinking that all the skill related activities shall be handled by a single ministry. So most probably by April, we'll be with MSD. Next please. So this is what we expect. Actually, this apprenticeship training scheme is to make these freshers employable. So that is our motive. But then earlier, you may be aware that the apprenticeship training scheme is a very peculiar training scheme. But now we made so many amendments in that, and now we made it so flexible and useful to the industries that even your regular resourcing can be done through this apprenticeship training. How it will happen, we'll discuss in next slides, please. So we deal with these 4 types of apprentices. So graduate, of course, both the graduates, engineering as well as non-engineering. Graduate sandwich apprentices. You may be, many of the colleges they are running sandwich program. So all these sandwich apprentices can be registered under Apprentices Act. Technician apprentice, and similarly, technician is actually engineering diploma apprentices. And similarly, there are some courses at diploma level which are at technician sandwich courses, during which entire last year of the diploma course or 1 semester, this candidate will undergo the on-the-job training with various industries, and that is covered by us. Next please. So these are the silent features actually. So every employer is willing to engage the candidate for larger period of training. So here we started implementing this from 6 months to 3 years. So all the non-engineering graduates can be engaged for the training from 6 months to 3 years. But for engineering graduates and diploma holders, still it is of 1 year. But we are thinking that it should be increased by 1 more year. But up till now we have not received any communication from ministry. But for non-engineering graduates, you can implement it up to 3 years. So training you can decide right from 6 months to 3 years. Then there is, but of course, even though the training will be of 3 years, Government of India, in this scheme actually there is a concept of reimbursement of stipend. So every year we reimburse around 54,000 per candidate per year to the establishment directly. So that reimbursement will happen for a year only, considering the budgetary constraint and all that. Training in our case, like in ITI or other cases, training will start in a particular batches. Say for example in the June or in the month of January or so. But in our case, training can happen at any point of time, and then the candidate will be with you for the required duration of training. So that flexibility is with you. At any point of time, you can go ahead with this. Then every quarter you need to submit the progress report, and also on the basis of your progress report, you can raise your claims, and that claims will be settled by us, and amount will be disbursed to your account through ECS. So that way the entire implementation happens. At the end of the training, we issue a certificate of proficiency to these candidates. That is a very valuable certificate for them. Even with IT industries, Mutalik has told us that this certificate of proficiency is helping their employees to get L1 visa. So that credibility of that certificate is there. So, but this certification will be issued. There is no examination as such at the end of the training. So this certificate will be issued on the basis of the review done by the establishment itself. So every quarter we are expecting that the establishment will submit their record of progress online, and on the basis of that we issue a certificate of proficiency. Whatever gradation you carry out for the quarter, same will be reflected in his certificate, in his or her certificate. So that way this certificate is very valuable, because the credibility of that candidate will be judged by the establishment officer himself. So that's why this is more creditable to that candidates. In order to make it very useful, this program to make it very useful for the stakeholders. Now there are both stakeholders we can consider, industry as well as the student. So for them to make it more useful, this board is conducting various programs for the betterment of the candidates as well as to support the industry. So that cross-functional activities are continuously there. This certificate is a digital certificate. The candidate can download it n number of times through his login. Next please. In this, now in order to provide some support to the candidate, board has started one new concept. We call it as a post-apprenticeship placement we are providing to the candidate. So there is a separate module for that. We call it as a PAPE module, post-apprenticeship placement. This PAPE module will help that candidate to generate his CV on the basis of whatever skill he has acquired, and that database is available to the industry to go through. So if you are having the requirement of special skill sets, and if some candidate is matching with that, if you raise your request on the portal will provide all that database to you. So that's why I am saying that human resourcing through NATS. So on this NATS portal, every year around 2.5 lakh students, they enroll on this portal, all engineers, non-engineers, then diploma engineers and all that. And that database is made available to every industry. So if you are part of the NAT scheme, if you are enrolled with the board and we approved you, that database is available to you at your login. So if you raise your request in the form of vacancy positions, that database can be shared with you in the ratio of 1:5. So against one vacancy, we will provide you 5 records. Out of that 5, you can select 1. So like that, the system is there. Similarly, you can raise or you can post your vacancy positions on our portal. You can post your advertisement on our portal. And whoever is going to visit that portal, if he come across that advertisement, he can apply to you. So all that facilities are there. Even to the candidate, we have given one facility to apply to any industry of their choice. So through his login, he can apply to any industry, and that database is available at your login. So all such facilities are available. That's why I am saying that it is a human resourcing through NATS. Next please. No, previous one. Actually, this previous. This is what the benefits are available. So the first benefit is that you will get easy manpower, because everything is available at a click of finger. So all the database available on portal is available to you. You can explore that. Second is this scheme we have made very flexible. Like say the quota Raj we have removed. So if any industry comes up with the proposal to engage more number of apprentices, we are very happy to provide you that facility, so that as per your requirement, we can provide you the quota. Second is CSR fund can be utilized now for payment of the stipend. So that is possible if you are engaging apprentices more than 2.5% of your employee strength. Then of course the labor laws, sir will vouch for that. So if the candidate is registered under Apprentices Act, then labor laws will not come in force for that candidate. Then, of course, although the employers are not obligation for the employer to, there is no obligation for the employer to continue the candidate, but our experience is that around 80% candidates get continued with the same organization after completion of training, because nowadays nobody want to leave the trained people. So all these facilities are there. Over and above, we provide you some monetary support, which is not comparable with your budgetary provisions, but still I will say that you go for the reimbursement. It is a very transparent process. You need to raise your claim online. You can track your claim, and we religiously follow that claim, and without spending a single penny, you will get that claim settled, and amount will be credited at your account. So although being a government officer, I am telling all these things to you, but don't rely on me. You can interact with yourself, and whoever have got the claim from us, he will vouch for that. Like Mutalik ji is our brand ambassador, he can definitely say that this is happening with both. So like a corporate, we are working, since we are interacting with the corporate. So my office look, my officers mentality, my staff mentality, we have changed everywhere, and now since we are dealing with corporate, we should deal with like a corporate, and that is our motive. So in that fashion we are working. So these many facilities, of course, that is available to you. If the candidate doesn't get selected or continued with the same organization, definitely whatever value addition that happens with the current organization will help you to get the job elsewhere. Next please. So this is what actually, again the benefits, but this is related to portal. Since it is an interactive portal, you can carry out all the activities online. Next please. So these are the various steps of implementation. You all know that notification of quota, then of course nowadays we don't follow that quota system, but wherever if the company come up with the proposals, accordingly we will issue the flexi quota to them. Engagement of trainee. On engagement actually we don't have any control on your engagement. So you can engage the candidate from any college, any branch. So we don't have any control on that. So you will get the candidate as per your requirement, maybe from our portal or from anywhere. So you can follow your regular recruitment process. Then the trainee should be enrolled on our portal. Then registration of trainee shall happen, because then only he can be certified through Ministry of Education, and also you will get the reimbursement. Quarterly you need to submit the record of progress, then reimbursement claim, and last it is an award of provision certificate. So these are the various stages for implementation. Next please. And all these are online now. So this is what the entire scenario of implementation, right from the enrollment of establishment to claim settlement. Next please. This is again the similar way. Next please. So these are the various activities actually Board of Apprenticeship Training is conducting for the betterment of our students. So we normally conduct supervisory development program, career guidance programs, then employability entrepreneurship development program. Similarly, some pool campuses we conduct. Like recently we conducted a pool campus at Pimpri-Chinchwad College of Engineering on 10. So 105 industries they represented there, and around 4,000 plus candidates have registered for the program. But on that day actually 1,700 candidates were available, diploma, degree and non-engineering. Then we also sensitize all our stakeholders. So institutes are also our stakeholders. Similarly, some special camps for the industries to settle their claims at their doorstep. Next please. this is what the statistics for Western region as well as Maharashtra. So Maharashtra, around 60,000 seats are available for apprenticeship training, but this is just a presentation. If any industry come to us seeking more number of seats, definitely we are there to support you, either with reimbursement or without reimbursement, depending upon the financial constraints. Next, please. So this is what the portal is. So there is a NATS portal. Actually, the sponsors later on, they will cover this entire process flow. Next, please. So these are various benefits of that portal. Next, please. So these are various modules available on portal. Please click again. Again. One more. So these are the various modules available on a portal. So it covers right from the grievances to everything. So feedback, grievances, all that is covered. Even any establishment is facing any difficulty, they can raise the grievances. It will go to my director. If the student raise any grievances, it will come to me, and I am having 8 days to settle that issue. My director is having 8 days to settle your issues. So all these facilities are available on portal. So whoever is not implementing NATS, please go ahead for the NATS. We are there to support you by any way for right from enrollment to reimbursement. Next, please. So this is from my side. Actually, this apprenticeship training is a very great avenue available, made available by Government of India to you. Along with the monetary benefits, it provides you all the immunity regarding the labor compliances. So thanks to Yogesh ji, who made it possible for me to present this development that is happening under NATS to you. And thank you all for patient listening. I am the concerned person for Pune, Sangli, Satara, Solapur, Kolhapur, Nagar, Ahmedabad, and whenever you feel like to interact with me, I am just a call away. My mobile number is almost available to everybody, but if you don't have, please after the session we'll meet and we'll share the numbers. So thank you again. Thank you very much.
The new ways of working, people and process dynamics, our CHRO roundtable discussion. It's my privilege to invite eminent speakers for the evening. Let's invite Ms. Arnabi Marjit. A big round of applause for her. Ms. Arnabi Marjit heads the role of VP Human Resource Lupin HR, as having more than 2 decades of experience across automotive, FMCG, life sciences, has worked with multiple organizations, and it will be a pleasure listening to you, ma'am. Welcome on the dais. We have our next eminent speaker, Ms. Daya, Ogale. A warm welcome to you. Ms. Daya Ogale is working as head of HR and site leader for TomTom. Again, having more than 2 decades of experience, worked with a lot of companies, including Sama Technologies, Funtech India. An honor to have you on the dais. It's an honor to welcome Ms. Jayanti Phadke, country head, India and Sri Lanka for Colgate. Welcome. Ms. Jayanti Phadke has a long experience working with a lot of companies, including TCS as AVP HR, IBM as General Manager. In her overall experience of 24 years, she has been a prominent leader in the strategy for the organizations she has worked for. Welcome on the dais, ma'am. It's an honor to welcome Mr. Milind Jadhav. Mr. Milind Jadhav is a well-known signature in HR fraternity, founder of HCM Next, co-founder of SelectGen's HR Solutions. Mr. Milind has a very long spell working with companies like Bharat Forge, Suzlon, Global Logic, Patni Computers in strategic roles. Welcome, sir. Let's welcome Mr. Rahul Bagle, Group HR Head, Coast Motors. Welcome, sir. Mr. Rahul has more than 24 years of experience with FMCG, automobile, consumer electronics, and has been playing a strategic role in the current organization. It's an honor to have you on the dais, sir. It's my honor to welcome Mr. Ritesh Joshi, Director of Cummins India. Welcome, sir. Having more than 25 years of experience in HR space, Mr. Ritesh Joshi is known signature and leadership role. Now, it's my honor to welcome Mr. Milind Mutalik. Welcome, sir. A special welcome to Mr. Milind as he's going to play a role of moderator in this session. Mr. Milind is currently heading employee experience for Ecolite Digital, has been associated with many organizations like Organised, Synchron Technologies, GBL, and leadership roles. A warm welcome. My special request will be that none of the person on this dais is less than 20 years experience, so we have to have so much applauding and welcoming to them. We look forward to hearing from you. Over to Mr. Milind.
Good evening to all of you. I'm happy before I came in here, Wadode sir has already taken my name several times. Okay? However, one of the very important thing is, आप कब तारीफ करते हो चीज़ों की जब आपको उसका experience होता है and you feel that that's something very important for all of us to know. Let me give you a kind of a statistics. Last 3 companies I work today, one of the company where I work, I have claimed for last 2 years about 200 IT engineers, kind of claim with Chennai Board of Apprentice Training. While working with Cognizant, more than 1,000 claims have been done with him. With Synchron, a similar number of about 1,000. And that's where I can vouch for it. Okay, so let me welcome all of you and start my quick, 10 minutes of context setting for this session. Where the topic is new ways of working, people and process dynamics. All of us know why we are here. This is one of the things where everyone is wanting to know what is the direction, and that's where these experts are here to guide all of us. Okay? My gratitude to guest of honor, and I very much understand he's also from HR, so it helps us to correlate in much better manner. Moderator sir, for being here and giving this particular, sharing the whole of our experiences with them, and I'm sure a lot of people will be able to take the benefit out of this. My friends and guides who are sitting here and here, okay, and big thank you to our sponsors of the event to bring all of us here. I cannot stop without taking 2 more names. One is Aurangabad CHRO Forum and Mr. Milind Jadhav, who is working for a few weeks to make this whole event successful. Maybe night 11 o'clock or morning 7 o'clock, I call him up and he is available. So thank you, Yogesh, for bringing all of us here. I would start by saying we have been giving each one of us 70 minutes, 10 minutes each, so 70 minutes. Do you have patience to go for 70 minutes? Okay, so the speakers have said, no, we will not speak for 10 minutes. They will give you a chance to also interact. They don't want this session to be mundane and boring. So everyone who is sitting, where we can't see you because of a light, please ask questions from there. Okay? So the 70 minutes, I came up with a pitch for 70 minutes, but now it's not going to work because they have not agreed to it. Okay? Otherwise, I was saying, Shakti, 70 minutes, 70 minutes aapke paas. Okay? So, However, I would say you will find the spell of all the speakers really memorable for you, and I'm sure everyone will give their best to see that you are able to take away a lot of things from here. What are we expecting from you? The attention, the josh, and seeing that you're able to carry through some of the points from here for your action. Okay, let me start first by a bit of a context on the global business. All of us are reading, nothing new I'm going to talk about, but some of the point of views which I'll say here. Okay, first and foremost is everyone knows the change which has happened is a expectation by the employees, employer, customer, okay, process improvements. Everywhere there is a change expected, and that's dynamics is something which we'll discuss as we go ahead, like hybrid work, wholesome wellness. Wellness was one of the aspects into the whole of our engagement activity, but today we have got along with that a big graduate wholesome as a wellness adjective. So that has become very important. Learning and development. Everybody who's into learning and development is thinking about how do we really meet the demands of the folks and the company to survive. Earlier days, the learning and development department was one of the backyard, okay, and R&D used to be a front end for many of the manufacturing companies, whereas today, the whole scenario has changed and all of us really witnessed that, okay. Going ahead, career development, and all the speakers are going to speak about each of this topic, okay. I'm sure all of you will have a great takeaways at the end of the session. Coming to a global scenario, all of us are well aware, geopolitical factors like Russia, Ukraine war, leading to oil supply, constraints and prices. All of us pay more price of oil because of one of that reason. China is coming out of COVID. However, all the Western countries are looking at +1 as a source for their supply chain. Again, India and +1 also is being talked about, or that's also being used as a one very important feature is updated to me by Milind Jadhav. Okay. What do I say out of this? How does all these aspects touch us? Okay. Recently, Piyush Goyal, who was a Minister of Consumer Affairs, Food, Public Distribution, India, in December 22, said Apple is planning to increase its iPhone global manufacturing in India to 25%. However, currently, Apple is manufacturing 5 to 7% of its iPhone in India, and which is in few $billion as of now. Recession in UK and USA and inflation has leading to one of the video we have seen, a global layoffs. Okay, and let me give you some of the numbers here. Obviously, the referred site is layoff.fyi, which says in 2022, 1,040 companies have laid off 1,59,666 resources or employees, I would say. In 2023, we are just on what I would say 30 days completed. In 2023, 272 companies laid off 86,882 employees. While we talk about this, we'll go into little details as to what is it, how does it matters to us, okay? Yes, we have few important names in the list from India also, likes of Byju's, PayPal, Upstart. However, many multinational organizations like a Philips did the big number in Amsterdam. SAP did it in Germany. IBM had just started, but the major focus is in New York. Okay, Microsoft is in US again, Amazon, US, Salesforce, and many more. I have not heard, and this is my personal opinion, I have not heard TCS, Infosys, Cognizant, Tech Mahindra, or for that matter Wipro having the layoffs. So probably the things are a little different for us, and we need to look at from that perspective. Coming to Spino's research, which is coming today during 3rd of January 23, the growth perspectives which have been given for the Indian industries are 64% growth is for office equipments and automation organizations, 25% to BFSI, banking, financial services, insurance, 15% to telecom, okay, ISP, we all know 4G, 5G, 6G is coming in, 14% on import-export, 13% on chemical-allied industries, and around 11 to 10% real estate, production and manufacturing, automobile, ancillaries, travel, hospitality, etc. So are we really have to think about the gloom, or we still have a hope? We need to think ourselves. Obviously, these above factors are creating a feeling of instability in the society, but I think we need to really gather what is right for us. Coming to a technology front, all of us are aware. I generally ask this question, what is the long form of GPT? We have been talking GPT for a long. Anyone? Okay. Let me give it, because I prepared for it and came. Otherwise I don't know. Generative pre-trained transformer. A lot of algorithms have been brought in together for last 6 years, and this GPT has been made. Okay. So coming to a technological front, we are used to computing, storage, architecture, cyber security, data security, AI, robots, mixed reality. Okay, all these things have come in. The current, all of us know, the open AIs, like of GPT, will come into picture. GPT is just the start. Microsoft is talking about Sparrow, and rest of the, and Sparrow, they are talking more about ethical system, rather than just the way today the system is. So this is going to, everyone is going to overtake the previous technology. And as you have heard, would it really matter that like a calculator had come in, the jobs are lost? And there are questions being asked. We have heard about about a decade or more, we have been hearing about driverless car. How many of them are there, though a lot of investment has happened in it. Okay, coming to witnessing a climate change. Everybody is really, wherever they are in the world are witnessing a climate change. And corporate governance and governments too are taking care of the agenda of net zero carbon. All of us are aware, every organization is trying to work towards it. Okay, corporates are today ensuring the compliance on the ESG, that is, environment, social and governance. ESG has become very serious aspect for every organization. I work with the organization with 3,000 folks, but still we are complying with ESG and ensuring that we are able to submit that return on a quarterly basis. Coming to the next very important topic, diversity, equity, inclusion, DEI. I again learned because of interaction that there is one more thing which is added to that, is belonging. Ketan Kapoor is here, and he is the one who has updated me 2 days back that, friend, it is not DEI, it is DEI and B, that is belonging, which is one more aspect. And that's very important for all of us to see that we grow with this particular factors of DEI. These are on the global front, whatever thoughts I had. I'm sure there would be many more of it, but I thought this could be relevant to all of us, which are impacting us. Now coming to HR, what are the trends in HR? Okay, and let me say, many of you would have known the epic Ramayana. Yes, obviously. Okay, in Ramayana, where goddess Sita Mata had to go through the fire, which is called as Agni Pariksha, to prove her purity. In my way, I say, to me, HR is a function every 3 to 5 years as a similar Agni Pariksha. Okay, with a change of business, expectation by the people, process expectation, disruptions, and work dynamics. It's not new for us, and I think we all are prepared for the challenge. Okay, quick updates on the HR trends, and then I'm going to hand over to my colleagues to talk about it. So, when we look back, 2021 was a time, or a flavor of the season was Great Resignation. All of us knew. Each one used to ask each other what is the percentage, and he used to say 5% less than somebody else. Okay? Then we have come in 2022 where we have heard a term, quiet quitting, which is more of not having my heart and soul in the place, but still I'm alive, kind of a thing. And then focus was on to resilience of people and a business. This was the past. 2023, what are the things? I picked up the information again from the research of Josh Bernstein, whom I follow because he talks about India as well as the Western countries. And this is published on 22nd of January 2023, easily available to download. You don't have to pay any money for it, okay? So what he says, 2023 will be a year of a transition as we are redefining the work, the workforce and HR. And that's very critical to understand. All of us are really feeling that these three factors are something which are being touched by us. Yes. A new multifaceted workforce which is diverse, aging and also scarce is emerging, and all of us are witnessing that. One of the very important change which he has mentioned is jobs and career will be redefined with convergence of industries. As every big organization like of Amazon, Walmart is coming into healthcare. Auto companies are going for electric vehicles. Energy companies are making electronic vehicle batteries. The skills which are required are different. Every company will get serious about pragmatic skills and ensuring they build a diverse and a future skills. Okay, the organizations having a growth, the flow of work. So you will not look at what is required today. You will look at what is required in future, and your learning and development focus is going to be more likely onto that. Employee experience will be put to the test by the hybrid work. All of us understand employees today, they are from various so-called generation Z to rest of them, and their different expectations you need to fulfill. That's the employee experience challenge. Organizations move, and this is a new term again he has coined, the organization will move beyond employee experience to focus what is known as people sustainability. And what does that people sustainability means? It's like bringing all this topic, DEI, benefits, health and safety and employee experience together to make a concept of people sustainability. And that's very, very critical aspect. Every company will revisit the leadership model, reinforcing what is required. Even every leader was a human and they faced the same challenges during pandemic which everyone has faced at any level. So reinforcing the growth mindset, purpose, communication, support, collaboration, appreciation and well-being. Coming to performance management, new models will come in. Many companies embracing OKR, objective and key result, more formal check-in process, and the new tool that let team leaders manage performance in the flow of work. And productivity will become essential measure for employee success. Next, we understand there's an evolution taking place from 1990s of collaborative management to today's network companies, company as a network, which we talked about. Post-pandemic, what is required, a more focus onto the empathy, trust, resilience, growth. These are the mantras which have been talked about. Organization will seriously revisit their pay and rewards. I think this is something very critical from the perspective of hybrid working. CEO and CHROs will have one more KRAs of focusing on the well-being of the employees. Okay, this is going to be very important KRAs for this leaders. Don't worry, last page. Yeah. The role of recruiter will become increasingly important, and HR has been talking about people analytics, but will evolve into talent intelligence, reskill, redesign, retain and recruit. You need to look at your, probably the analytical tools and see whether they, make you meet up all this requirement. Coming to new HR landscape, one of the very important thing has been said is an emergence of new integrated skill-powered talent platform. We will have a multiple intelligence system that create infer store skills. Okay, we have seen a conversion of industries, and that being a reason, you would be doing 3 or 4 activities which are connected to you or not connected to you within the same companies. HR organization will move into new operating model, which is called a systemic HR, which will have interconnectivity of HR functions with a diverse sourcing and hiring, employee experience, retention, feedback process at every level. We can't forget gig and contractor workers marketplace. That's going to be very critical. Internal mobility, and very importantly, build, not buy the talent. Coaching, goal setting, new models of performance reviews, all this has come in. One of the other important thing is simplified job architect and design, agile organization and design, okay, and many more to be driven by HR. So that's going to be HR's responsibility. I know my time is over, but before that, let me just quickly set the sequence of the topic. We'll be first having Ritesh who will be sharing his thoughts on topic of hybrid work and expectations management. Then we are going to have Jayanti ma'am. She will be sharing on the topic of hiring in the hybrid world. Daya ma'am will come up with topic on L&D, leadership and team in hybrid work or model. Arnabi ma'am will talk about sharing her thoughts onto wholesome wellness. Then Rahul sir will share his thoughts on career development and succession. These are the 5 sessions we have, or 5 talks we are going to have. And finally, Milind Jadhav sir will conclude with a critical summary from the above topics. That's it from my side. Ritesh sir, over to you. Thank you all for the great attention and request you to make this session very quick.
Eden Garden, प्रेक्षकों से खचाखच भरा हुआ, lot of expectations. Tony Gregg announcing it from the commentary box that hey, there is a tall batting order for India and there are all the veterans. But you're expected to go as a first batsman, so there's a pressure. And by the way, it's not a T20, it's a T10, and you're expected to achieve the batting performance in 7 overs or 6 overs, preferably 5 overs. You don't even have 10 overs. And while going, my captain indicated, by the way, I have taken a couple of minutes extra, so you please manage. Sorry, Milind, that's all. So that was on a lighter side, and the complexity is you have folks from manufacturing and you have folks from IT sitting in front of you. It's a complex, and I'm supposed to talk on a complex subject, and which is very tricky nowadays. Every employee wants work from home and every organization wants their people back. These are two extremes. Whenever we touch this topic, we always talk about these two extremes. And by the way, life is not black or white. Life is all about shades of grey. And we, as HR, are expected to deliver results with all these shades of grey. And do this juggling where we want to ensure that our employer is happy and getting all the results, as well as our employees are engaged in true sense and not like that video, in true sense, and what they want, they're getting. Situation, a context has changed. The way earlier generation, my parents used to work, loyalty, number of years of service, and whatever, 24 hours work, etc., has gone. I work for a company, this is 5th organization for me, so loyalty, same job, same role has gone now. Now there's a new generation, their expectations are different. They say that, hey Ritesh, you work for 12 hours, 18 hours. We will also work, but we also need flexibility. We want to work on certain terms. And by the way, we unnecessarily make them villains saying that, hey, they don't want to work. Working from home doesn't mean that they don't want to work. They want to work, but they are looking at some flexibility because they have seen some transition where I have worked for 2 years or at times 2 years plus from home. My organization got benefited, they gave result. I served customers, stakeholders, etc. And now suddenly what is changing? Why are you forcing me to come back? There's no logic. And unfortunately, employers are not able to explain this to employee, and then there's a tussle. And by the way, do we see all the employees reasonable? No, there are not. There are employees, the way employers are pushing, employees are also unreasonable. There are few people who are taking undue advantage of it, and they don't want to move out of their comfort zone, so and so forth. How to strike this balance? Managing this, so management of hybrid workforce is the topic. First of all, I see
opportunity, have we laid down the expectations loud and clear? And what I mean by that is, and I'll relate it to my organization's example, where we created a repository, we decided that, hey, which are the roles which are going to be, let's say, compulsory work from office or plant side, because we are a manufacturing company. So we cannot have a worker, ideally given a choice, they can work from home, or supervisor who can work from home and deliver product, but that cannot happen. So there are a set of people who have to come to office or operations plant. There are a set of people who are supporting maybe global organization, they are supporting something which can be done online, and they can be permanently work from home. And there are a set of people who needs flexibility, who can come to office or work from home, etc., etc. So first of all, have we identified those roles instead of leaving it to individuals and making it clear, guys, these are roles which are permanent, maybe work from home, these are hybrid, and these are roles in current context. Maybe eventually things may evolve, change, etc. When you set that expectation, then it is very clear, yes, my role is this category, and then I have to abide by whatever rules, regulations, policies in the context of that role. Second is ecosystem. Do we have a right ecosystem which will enable every individual in whichever capacity he or she is delivering? So maybe if it is hybrid, then do we have policy which clearly specify that in case the person works from home from different city, and if he or she travels back for a work meeting or to attend office, do we have a clarity? Do we have a policy around that? Have we communicated all those policies? What kind of perks, benefit, is there any differentiation, or there is a fairness in overall approach? Do we have that ecosystem made clear through policies, processes, and well communicated to all the employees? With this, last bit comes managerial role. And then there's one more bit. The managerial role where is manager communicating well, and not HR, by the way, and not CEO. I'm saying manager. Whosoever is managing a team of 5, 10, 15, 20, 50, I know IT folks have a bigger span of control. So are we engaging with employee and communicating them a logic why we need and what we need? Instead of somebody communicating saying that, hey, and this is my perspective, I'm not against any businessman, CHRO, etc. This is my view. Instead of pushing people that, hey, this day we are opening office and you have to be in office, you don't have any choice. Rather than that, I would prefer that, hey, as a leadership team, we have decided a norm. Although we are in a hybrid mode, we have decided a norm that every week, first 3 days, we are in office. So we are available for personal conversation. So we are available, so indirectly as a leader, I set expectation with my team saying that, hey, let's be available in person for these 2 days, this 1 day, this 4 days, whatever. So laying down those expectations and rather exhibiting or being a role model rather than putting a deadline, and then I don't know how many seniors are coming to office. It's a mandate. Then people look at it, hey, there are different policies for you and you're expecting me to come to office. There is no role modeling. There is no, and again, please don't mind that the organizations which are emphasizing people to come back are not following this. They must be following. But I feel, are you able to motivate, energize people by role modeling and expecting? Then once you have this arrangement ready and you have laid down expectations amongst your team members, be it 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, and then are you ensuring that it is adhered to on one side, and also on the other side provide some special flexibilities where those individuals need it. So for example, I set an expectation that you have to come for 3 days, but someone comes and says that, hey, my nanny is not going to come for next 15 days because she has gone to her native for something, etc., etc., and I am not able to come to office, but I will join over Zoom or whatever. Am I giving that flexibility? Or somebody comes and says that, hey, my kid is unwell, or I have ailing parents and they are unwell and I need to take care of them. So that level of flexibility based on individual needs. Are we accommodative or not? And the other side, whosoever is not falling in line or acting smart or coming with excuses, are we communicating them clearly and giving this feedback or not? So how we are able to balance this, and how as HR professionals we are being a change agent and enabling, helping our business to deliver this is a challenge. And by the way guys, this is not going to change. So if someone is under impression that let's say after a year, 6 months, 1 year, etc., this flexi working or hybrid is going to go, no. It is going to stay, it is going to enhance. The way technology is growing, the way talent is available in the market, because let me tell you, there were critical talents which we were not able to attract in Pune, and that talent was available in Delhi or maybe in Bangalore. And because of their own constraint, they said, no, we don't want to look at a job which is in Pune, but we wanted that talent. And because of this arrangement, organization is able to attract such talent, although remote. So, for all of us, one thing we should register, that this is going to stay. How we can partner with business, how can we partner with our leaders and help this transition better and better. Thank you very much.
One down batsman, as per Ritesh. When it comes to hiring challenges, I know that we face so many challenges in 2022. We have a group actually of Pune HR leaders, and we meet up for breakfast, once the COVID restrictions were over. And every one of us used to ask 3 questions. What is your offer to join ratio now? Are you getting talent from the market? And third, what is your attrition? And Milind, I think Milind covered a lot of pointers in his speech, and I was actually worried that Milind is going first. So I don't know what all we can really talk. But I'll still try and, put some points across in terms of the experience. I think when it comes to IT, so I work with a company called Toll Group, which is actually a supply chain company. But we have also IT captive, who does a lot of BI, analytics, operations, GCC, everything out of Pune. So my challenge was to actually hire people for our warehouses, hire people for our forwarding, which is like more of, people who can really, do forwarding business, sell air cargoes and sell, shipments and all of that. And the third wing is, your IT. The first challenge was that, everyone in IT used to get to work from home, and other people never got to work from home. Obviously, you can't really work from home when you're working for a warehouse. And the challenge started becoming more prominent when they saw that in the same company, the IT unit is not coming to office, and we are coming since the pandemic days because it's a critical service, and I am here on the ground, even when the entire world is shut down. And we started actually getting questions that I am the breadwinner for the organization, and I am put up for the most challenging job when the support staff is sitting at home and enjoying all the benefits. So I'm sure that a lot of companies now, IT is a backbone, and IT is really thriving in India. And that poses a lot of challenge for us, that we have to attract talent. However, we have to even manage other business challenges and dynamics which we really deal for. I think major challenge was there and even is there now is moonlighting. When I heard this news first, that there was one person who was moonlighting in 7 organizations, I was shocked. That was last year, and that's the first time actually I heard moonlighting as a concept and everything. And I was like a naive HR person. I said, no, we don't have someone like that in Toll. And when we really started our office, we started looking at people who are not coming to work, and we were trying to be more flexible. So in fact, in IT organization, what we did is we asked people that you can come to office on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You work from home on Monday and Friday. So there are a lot of people who come from nearby cities in Pune. They are Kolhapur, Satara, Sangli, and it's just a 3-4 hours drive. So we said, why don't you go back home? Just come for 3 days and work from office. And that really started working, and then we started realizing that there are few people who are just not coming, not even picking up phones in the daytime at times. And then we realized, thanks to I think remote working and a lot of global organizations who started hiring from India because they can work from home, these kids actually were doing night shift working for US. And they wanted to work in India and earn double, triple salary. No harm in doing that. But I think something like ethical code of conduct is expected. So if you upfront say that this is my priority and I don't want to be an employee, just give me a contract role, I'll do work for you from this time to this time and allow me to work for different company, I think it is still good. However, all of these thoughts started coming in when we started encountering all these issues with the remote working. Otherwise, I don't think so. Earlier, we used to think that, okay, there can be a dual employment, why not? We never thought that one person can actually work in 3-4 organizations and still earn money from 3-4 organizations. And people really didn't feel that it's unethical. And that's where I think the major challenge is that, if your employees are not coming, not really working with you, how can you really, transfer the culture of the organization, how they can really feel the part of the organization. So we did a lot of remote hiring in 2 years of pandemic. But what we saw is that most of them who were hired through, remote hiring, didn't really felt belonging to the organization. And they were the first ones to leave when they got something else outside. And the attrition from this group actually was higher than the people who were hired before the pandemic. Because they felt that yes, they've met the manager, they know what the culture is of the organization. So these issues definitely are there in hiring. One more factor which started coming in is that, last year we started hearing that there is going to be a global recession and, West countries will have major challenge. But I think in January I read one report in Economics Times, and they said that, if the world doesn't feel recession, it's thanks to India and China. And that means we are not going to feel any recession. I think we have a lot of jobs. The Western countries who are really, removing people, they are not really reducing their work scope. They want to shift to probably, more countries where they'll get cheap labor and the talent. So hiring challenges are going to remain here, definitely. The retention challenges are going to remain in India. And that's why as HR, I think we have to really start, putting a lot of hats. I think we keep talking about employee hat, employer hat. We have to even start putting now business hat. As you saw that IO Shraddha, she said, why HR doesn't look at the business horizon and then start hiring people? I think every expectation is from HR. And I feel that, when we started really looking at hiring challenges, and there were a lot of performance issues also of, few of the employees, we started feeling that probably our hiring managers are also not equipped to hire right talent. So how can we really, go ahead and train them to hire right kind of resources? That need was not felt earlier, but through remote working, because you just get onto a call, there is a video call. Most of the times people will say, I can't hear you, put off the video and then start talking. So you really don't know whom you're interviewing and whom you're hiring at the end. and that's becoming a challenge. So we have started now saying that you have 4 rounds of interviews to enter or to get the job offer. 1 interview you have to come to office and meet us face to face. And we've started now taking screenshots even on the video interviews, because we really don't want people to come in and then start saying that it's okay to work in 2 companies or 3 companies. It's okay to upfront say that yes, I want to work for 2 companies. It's perfectly all right. But not saying that is not really going to help anyone. So we have actually started putting these measures in place. But yes, hybrid work model is going to stay here. As you said, I think we can't really change that. But with that, there are a lot of flexibilities which are expected out of everyone. And balancing those flexibilities where you can still ensure that you are able to hire right talent is very important. I'm sure that many of us, we started facing issues in terms of getting the right talent, and as he said, we have some skills which are not available in Pune now. They are available in south regions. So we've started hiring people from there. However, we say that okay, if you are in Bangalore, you go to our warehouse and work from Bangalore warehouse for 2 days. You'll also be able to see how the business works and how you can support from IT aspect of it. So I think we'll have to start coming up with these innovative ideas and not really shut doors for people who can't relocate. However, I think it's important that we really find the right talent which matches to your company's culture and then stay longer for the organization. And if anyone wants to share their hiring challenges which are not covered here, I think it will be very good to hear from you also. And I think we'll learn from each other. Okay. Thank you.
Post Daya ma'am speaks, we'll have questions you can ask. So prepare your questions. Post her, sharing, we'll have.
Since the time Milind has spoken, I've been telling myself no pressure. Okay, hello everyone, I'm Daya. I work with TomTom currently as a head HR and site owner. And I'm going to cover, quickly, I'm going to cover a lot of future scoping. Everybody knows challenges, but I'm going to cover a lot of future scoping, what's going to happen in this arena of learning and development. But let me ask, is there anyone in the room who don't learn every day? I have Vinod Vidwaik, I know my friend and colleague here who writes 1 article a day. So, I don't know how he does this, but yes, he sends it around leadership group and amazing. So, is there anyone who just don't do this during the day? At least read an article, watch a YouTube, go to some HR portal. We do that every day. We have been learning every day. And I think that's what the future calls for. So there is, I was reading this LinkedIn article and it says that 74% people are trying to find out ways to develop new skills. And 56% people have already taken steps to develop new skills. That massive is learning and development. It is like our everyday bread and butter. Learn every day, grow every day. What are the ways in which we as learning and development ambassadors, I can say, or HR fraternity can do about it? Is one is to keep the platter. It's like, you nowadays get all assorted things together. So keep the platter very open and give the choice to the employee. No one practice can really fulfill everybody's need. So give the platter, keep the platter very open. The second thing is about, I know there are a lot of platforms where you can learn from, but Learning Academy is a big thing. And I think I also follow Josh Person, who is an author, is a big name. And if you look at Learning Academy, what it offers is where you can interact, you can give your way of thinking, what's your perception about what you think, what's your thought process. You can do projects, you can do assignments. they get checked by the mentors. So all this can happen on that learning academy, on that platform, on that one platform, and you can connect globally. It has no restriction of I will have to do it only with the limited people from limited bin. So that's the best way to learn every day. The next is cohort-based learning. I think Milind touched about agile way of working, agile methodology, and I'm a big promoter of that. Agile is the way, is the future way of where we all will do business. Nowhere we will have a life cycle. Even if you see, even in the hardest manufacturing, the car manufacturing, every minute a different car out, right? It asks for the customers. It's not about take requirements 6 months and then we will deliver after 6 months. No market is going to wait for us for that long. So the way we do it is through agile. Agile methodology is the way to go. So cohort-based learning is one of the way through which we can learn. And in cohort, what happens is people from different cross skills come together. They offer their own experience, their skills, and they bring the product alive at the earliest. It doesn't wait, and then there is an immediate check back with the customer. Is that what you're looking for or something different? Go back, change it, again bring it. So there are a number of prototypes, number of testing that happens, and finally, so it's basically co-creating the solution with the customer and not just take requirement and go after 6 months. So this is agile way, and agile way is coming big time, and that's the way our business will take a shape in the future. So this is a great time to learn the agile methodology. We all are talking about ChatGPT. I was thinking that how do we use ChatGPT in the learning arena? I think the tool gives us strength. If you look at it positively, because we are humans, our brains are beyond this. Who created ChatGPT? We humans created. So let's not get fearful about this AI, because there are many more which are going to come, the superpowers. But we, the humans, have biggest power, and that power will not be taken away by any AI. So the tool will bring learning in the workflow. Imagine I have a presentation to give in next half an hour. I just ask these questions to ChatGPT, get the basic things, and then apply my own human mind to it. We'll invest our own time into reflecting, into thinking, into stretching our thinking. Let's start using our brains more and more for what it is meant for. And that's why I think such tools will only enhance, stretch our thinking, stretch our brains to go beyond the comfort zone. So that's the way I think about this. The next is learning in digitized learning is coming big. We all know it. It's not a new story. COVID really boosted that. The LinkedIn learning became, the thing of what you say. Suddenly became a hero during the COVID, and there are many more which have come up as the ways to learn. So they really offer, what the trend is now is that they offer a lot of personalized learning. So what we do is that once we get the learning needs, once our employees put it in their appraisal as what's the thing that they want to grow in, go back, they themselves go to the learning, any of the learning platforms that we offer. And there are specialized ones, like for example, Orally is specially for engineering. There are books, thousands of books there, there are open forums, there are mentoring sessions out there. So it's a great academy out there. So just go there, visit, find out what you want to build your skills on and get trained. And attach it, no longer like what we used to do, annual learning plan, or no longer, HR has to really, people have to take ownership of their own learning. And that's a new trend, not a new trend, it has been there, but it emphasized more in this new VUCA world. What I have tried out is gamification. As you must have heard, hybrid is going to stay. the latest Zinnov survey says that 87% companies are voting for hybrid model. So how do you get people together? How do you really work on these power skills of agility, of resilience, of decision making is sometimes, and how do you engage these young minds? Because they get very bored. Immediately your screen is off, you don't know whether the person is completing the mails, filing the report or doing some other work while he's just saying that I'm attending the training. Let's not do that. So gamification is the best way to engage. You play online games, you learn these power skills, and I've tried Unbox as one of the site and it has worked wonderfully for us. Only thing is that they're new in the market, they're very costly, so you have to negotiate more. I think the last thing that I want to talk about is impact of learning. We always talk about ROI, but I think I want to go beyond that and want to see not the old metrics of learning anymore, but what we want to see is that not the attendance, not what skills you develop, but I would love to see how it has brought in new thinking, how the shift has happened, how I'm ready to take up stretch goals, more responsibilities as a result of that insight that I got from the learning, right? So it has to reflect in your business. It has to reflect in your work. Whatever work everybody is doing, it has to reflect. That's the impact of learning that we are talking about. Then it is aligned to the business. Then learning department is no longer a separate department. It's a way of life in the new world. So two ways that we can really develop, and these are my two ways that I'm talking about. One is a T-shaped learning. And please go into Google and find out what's a T-shaped learning. So in which one, the vertical that is line talks about building your core skills. And so suppose I'm a HR generalist, so that skill become my core skill. But then there is a horizontal line which talks about your coaching skills, your negotiation skills, so which are on the periphery. So keeping your T-shape ready will bring you a lot of internal opportunities, and that's the way right now learning is going to manifest. Learning this T-shape will give you a lot of internal opportunities that our companies are opening up. Many companies, the hiring has dropped. India has forecasted 30% hiring, but it is much lesser than the other years because the companies want to give internal employees the opportunity because learning has become so easy. It is on your platter. The other shape is a Z shape. I'm also coming from engineering. Then I worked with BPO. Then I worked with IT. The learn, relearn, unlearn is a big process, and that's that Z shape. So Z-shaped learning is going to be the thing of the future, and it is required at this moment as well. I think I want to sum up with saying that learning, it takes, like we say, it takes a village. So each HR person here, each business leader, I want to say to, and each person individually takes the ownership. What we can bring in as HR fraternity is the ecosystem, the right plateau for learning. So that's about learning. I think I want to talk about leadership a little. First, all of us, we heard all of the eminent speakers here. I think all of us in HR here, I really want to applaud and give yourself a big applause. You have come through pandemic. Imagine something which was written on the stone. Suddenly, next day, you didn't know how to do it because your people were not there. My manager would say that I would take one round of shop floor, or I would take one round and I would finish my half-day job of connecting, communicating, giving right message to right people. And suddenly I walk through the office and I find it empty. how do you manage? And I think we as HR have shown that resilience, have survived through that pandemic challenge that brought in. We unlearn a lot, and that's hats off to all of us here that we did that. And that's why I wanted to talk about and acknowledge the leadership in HR. And in that, I think in this whole pandemic, the HR got seat at the table. I think suddenly it has got the focus, it got seat at the table, and the entire life cycle had to be redesigned in a way that it suits the hybrid work. Right from hire to retire. Imagine there are so many moments that matter, and that had to be redesigned. I remember March 20 when the pandemic happened. April 1st, we had VP Engineering joining from Mumbai. Our office is only at Pune, and I got a call from my colleagues that, how do we do onboarding? I don't know, because so far, the person would come to office, meet with the team, talk to all the leaders, travel to our head office at Amsterdam in Europe, travel to US to another office, and get oriented. Imagine not able to do all that and still bring in that experience for him. And this is what all of us in our own fields have done as leaders in HR. And that's why I feel very proud being HR during the pandemic. The other challenge that the leadership faced is about you yourself at your own home. My team members would tell me, my mother is sick, my father is hospitalized, or I'm not feeling well. But they kept the support on. They still kept supporting employees, taking their calls, giving them insurance details, Mediclaim, which hospital to go, settling their claims. So I think we kept our pain aside because we again believe that we are here to care for our people. Yeah, and we also developed a whole COVID care program, which is really very well received by our employees, and they felt cared. And I'm sure each one HR here gave that feeling to your employees. So leadership in HR is about people, it is about human, it's about their life and the moments in their life. I think one thing I want to conclude is that we are talking about hybrid here, right? And nothing is really very definite about, because it's still evolving as a culture. But I strongly feel with our resilience in HR and with our agility in HR, our past skills, these are our past skills, we will be able to build a culture which is as great as a normal in the coming times. Thank you so much. We are open for questions.
While the questions are asked, I would ask both the dignitaries to come on the dais. Abhay sir and Wadode said, both of you are supposed to be coming up. However, the disclaimer, at this point of time, Wadode sir's questions will not be taken. That will be taken over the dinner. Mike.
I come from Thailand, and it's be very honored that I be able to join this session. I would like, it's not a question, but I would like to share that what I heard today is similar situation out there in Thailand too. But one thing that why I raise my hand, because I come to learn one thing that I think might be is benefit to share. Our headquarters is in Rayong, whereby it's quite far from Bangkok. Same thing, we have big problem in terms of challenge. People want the hybrid work situation. I still study what we can address it, but I come to know from one of the competitor what do they do, and I think it's quite interesting to share. As you say, as some of the panel already said that the benefits have to be clear, and also Jayanti also shared that those who come to work every day and there are another workforce that don't come, how we address that. I come to learn from them that they like this policy. They give the operation people during the last increment a little bit more, and they say that this is the site allowance. You are rewarded because you come to site every day. And at the same time, those who select not to come to office, they used to have some perk relating to car allowance. It has to be reduced. I think that's quite get well receptive to both groups. That's why I said it's not our company. I learned from my competitor, but I think it's valuable to share. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Thank you.
Say, and that's true. That's very true. But one thing I would say is that have you tapped the internal talent? And that's what we did. We tapped the internal talent. We published the requirement, and we always found someone. We have a value called multiplier. So that's our value. And what does that mean is that you learn and you give it to others. You share it. And we cherish it as a value in the company. So multiplier is our value, and tap the talent within. I think they take it as a pride, and it's an immense pleasure and pride for others also to learn from the colleagues.
Leadership level who will oppose you, especially when you talk about people sitting at home and still earning the salary. How did you deal with this?
Are we able to build business case out of anything and everything? Because business understands business language. And are we able to communicate requirements to business in their language? If we talk English and they talk Italian, then we will never have a good coordination, maybe to an extent. Not saying it is too bad that way, but still it is difficult, right? So if you are able to speak business language, any proposal, if we are able to put it in a business case context and create a compelling business case, I don't think any business leader will refuse it. But yeah, if we are not sure about our own analysis and what we are asking for, and if you get 3-4 rapid fire questions and you're not able to answer, they know you're not prepared, you're bringing something which you feel. It's not about feeling, we are business, right? So it has to be a business case, then only it will fly, otherwise it will not.
And we have given 70-30 as a percentage. 30% still can come later. One of the practical aspects in last 2 or 3 years, we hired a lot of employees. We have not increased our infrastructure in the same manner. So we would like even that exercise to be used, and all those who are so-called having some issues, different demographic, mother to look after the kids, or somebody who is still not able to come back, we're giving the leverage of 30%, and 70%, again, the empowerment is to the business heads and the leads at each of the location to call for the folks. So list has been shared with them, they give us. So it becomes more easy for us to implement because the ownership is jointly shared, not with HR only.
Please, slight addition I will do. We all know that in business there are certain influencers. We should know who are those influencers and we should have good relationship with them. So that whenever we need help, support, we connect with right influencer who can influence that decision, and they are on our side. And on our side, not in a bad context, but they can help us in putting it in context. So that relationship management is very critical.
It's a chemistry. It's a chemistry.
And few people do it so seamlessly. I no words. They do it amazingly.
Would you like to share some?
Okay.
But maybe offline we can talk about it, not in public.
Last question we'll take up because we are half of the session now. We still have other members. Yeah, last question. Yep.
Thoughts?
Return to office.
Yes, you come to office.
Have the pays increased in last 2 years?
So
I'm just joking. Yes.
I'm usually not with it because you can't incentivize your basic jobs. But what we tried doing and it worked really well, one is definitely that we got the business buy-in first, that yes, we want to have our employees back. And they were the change agents for us. I refused to send emails from HRID saying that you have to come back. Though there was a lot of push and they said HR should send a mail. And I said no, it's not a dictatorship. Everyone should take the ownership. If anyone wants exception, should be granted by the manager and no one else. It should not even come to HR. So you shift the ownership actually to people, so they feel empowered to take decisions. That is one. Second thing, what worked is that we did a lot of events basically in the office. So we did family day and we said, get your family, let them see where you work. And you know, these small events, we did a cricket match, which was not possible during pandemic, but we said that, you know, we want to have more and more things. Game is a best, you know, way to really build the culture as well as get people together. So we started doing actually these kind of activities, which definitely adds more value, and people start feeling that there is more fun even going to office. And now we have seen almost 80% people have come back. Or few people who are not yet there. There is an exception, there is a reason, and the ownership again is with business for those exceptions.
Say that incentive doesn't work. It's all about, initially it becomes motivator, then it becomes hygiene factor, and afterwards it doesn't remain motivator. But what is important is different folks, different strokes. Understand what is need. So it is not about incentive. There are different needs, and how can we satisfy those needs? Maybe as individual, through manager, or maybe identifying groups, what they need. And if we are able to address, that can have a long-lasting effect as compared to the incentive.
Thanks everyone.
Good evening everyone. I feel like I'm going through Agni Pariksha now. With you know, cocktails waiting. It's Saturday evening. It's a beautiful venue. There's been fantastic speakers, starting with Ayo Shraddha. I mean, that was quite you know, tall task to follow. And then we have other interesting speakers after me. We have a room full of professionals, experts sitting here from various industries, HR professionals. But you know, having said that, I would really like to acknowledge the perseverance of Yogesh here, the guy who actually got me specifically here today. I think for around 4 years, he pursued relentlessly that you need to ensure that at least one session you come and attend and speak. So thank you, Yogesh, for doing this, and I mean, it's a fantastic forum to speak. And here I am to really digress from all that has been spoken till now. This is about wellness, wholesome wellness, as Milind just mentioned. So while the rest of the world is going through this, this recession or just impending recession, I guess everybody sitting out here will agree that we are still facing great resignation. We still have a major spate of resignations happening. So a recent study by Michael Page, it says that, I think most of you would have read it, in the next 6 months, and this was written just a few months back, that in the next 6 months, 86% of the employees would be resigning. They are waiting to resign from the organizations we are working for across industry. But that's not the news, you know, that I think everybody here knows. But the most interesting bit was that typically as HR folks or as business, we get to hear that people typically resign for what? For a few extra dollars. They resign for, you know, maybe foreign postings, times something other than, you know, a promotion or stuff like that. But this report says that 61% of this population who are planning to resign are willing to take pay cut. They are willing to get a demotion, they are willing to not get a posting of choice just because they want to maintain work-life balance. Okay, and they want to have a better life, they want to have wholesome well-being, what we've been speaking of. They want to explore you know, their lives. This is the Gen Z that we are speaking of, a very different breed, and they believe in experiences of life. They don't believe in a 9 to 5, they don't believe in a very structured way of working like most of us, and I guess you all made us sound very veteran, old, you know, people from the Neolithic age. We are from a very different generation. So maybe this may not appeal to a lot of us, but this is the reality today. The Gen Z really want a very different style of living. Having said that, it's not that they want to shy away from work. That's a wrong notion. Not that they all want to just work from home, as we are making it sound, as HR folks, we have been thinking about it all the time, that work-life balance is all about working from home. But is it truly so? It may not be. It's not necessarily about working from home. I guess all of you would have read a lot of reports which claim that during the pandemic, where majority of the population was working from home, domestic violence went up by leaps and bounds. It was not a very happy time for people to also be at home. We have heard of people, especially from Mumbai, close by, a small, tiny 1 BHK, maybe 600 square feet flat, in which you have the child doing online coaching or doing online school, and you have both the spouses working from the same dining table, their laptops on, they're doing team meetings, they have ailing parents at home. So it's not really all about work from home that defines work-life balance, that defines well-being. So again, the COVID, we keep coming back to the pandemic, but the pandemic as a human race, I guess, taught us the basic existential crisis that we have today. First thing was the last day of our lives. We say that we should all write somewhere a tombstone and keep that. What are we going to be remembered as? What is it that is going to be a regret in our lives? Would any of us ever regret not having spent those extra few minutes on the last presentations we made, or that deal we should have closed, or that offer we should have made, or that other company we should have joined? I mean, that's not really the regret that most people would have. All of us realize that we would regret that we have not spent enough quality time with our loved ones. We have not spent enough time with ourselves. We have not taken care of our own health and well-being. I think you all read about Mr. Jhunjhunwala, what he said, that I made fantastic investments all through my life. He was one of the richest men in India. However, I did not invest in my health and my own well-being, which I should have, and that was the greatest mistake of my life. So nobody wanted to make that mistake in their lives. Thereby, they all wanted to look at themselves, about their own well-being. And here comes the Masiha, and that's HR. Again, COVID happened, and that tiny OHC that I guess most of you from manufacturing would associate ourselves with, the tiny OHC that all of us have in our premises, the occupational health center. Yeah, one poor doctor keeps sitting throughout the day waiting for somebody to turn up. Nobody's really interested to come and meet that doctor because they want to go to fancy doctors outside and not your own OHC doctor. Some nurses sitting and okay, other than pre-employment checks, and it's generally a place where nobody visits. All of a sudden, that became the place to be, right? Plus all the others in HR. I represent a healthcare organization, Lupin, to also remind you that COVID was not the only disease ailing the humankind. There were a million other diseases also. There were chronic diseases for which medicines had to be researched for and made. There were products in the pipeline. So unlike all that you have been speaking of, hybrid working, working from home, all of that, it's alien to me, okay? Every day of the entire lockdown period and COVID, each one of us have been at work. We represent essential services, so-called COVID warriors. We suddenly got these badges, from the society that, oh, you're COVID warriors, you have these badges. And we had to be at work every day. So I had my team members who were actually filling up prescriptions. Okay, so we used to have these bunches of prescriptions signed by the OHC doctor because they were too busy. And HR would fill up the RT-PCR test because without that you would not be able to get a test done. So the tests and the standard packs and COVID care and all the employer assistance programs, because we suddenly became custodians of life. If HR is not around, or HR doesn't pick up the phone and get that remdesivir on time, or get somebody, somebody's tier 1 bed in the hospital, you may just not see the light of day. So all of our energies were flowing towards just keeping people alive and well, and not only the employees but also their families. Plus, we had to bring them to work. We had to make their family members believe that the workplace is a safe place to work. We had to give them psychological boost, saying, don't worry, nothing is going to happen. All the time we had to keep talking to them, while most of my team members themselves had COVID, or they had ailing people at home. But having said that, one great statistics that we actually managed to collate was that all of our employees who were working from office, they actually didn't get COVID majorly. That was interesting. Maybe because it was a very regimented area of working. So there were so many SOPs put in place, and being again a regulated industry, we immediately had these apps created overnight. You had to have a green passport, that is, you had to fill up whether you have any of these ailments, are you having any symptom of any kind. You fill all of that up, and only if you get a green passport you get to enter the premises. And all the rest, the public addressal system, all the time asking you to clean your hand and stay away from people, social distancing. So because of these structures and systems and processes we created, and testings and all of it, that we kept all our people safe. This gradually has now brought the confidence in our HR team that we can actually extend it beyond, because now that COVID is technically gone, we have still have the top of the mind recall. If you ask any employee, health still comes at the top of their mind, even now. They're very concerned about their own health. Everybody has started eating well, fitness pads and all of those new apps. Everybody's concerned about their health. Everybody's concerned about the health of their family members. The employee assistance program, which a lot of the companies would have, those were again a tick in the box. Nobody really cared for them. But suddenly the uptake has increased. People have become very conscious, and they are assessing all of the specialized platforms that we have in place. But it's just not about that. It's about creating a detailed blueprint for the health, not just physical health, but also mental health for the employees. And I would like to urge you that even if you have employees working from home, hybrid models, all of that, you still would need to ensure that there is a blueprint created by the organization to take care of all of this. Now, how do we do this? It's very easy to say this, but we are not doctors, we are not psychiatrists, counselors. How do we manage to do this? Now, there are various ways and means to structure this program. To start with, creating small affinity groups or platforms within the organization. So we've started creating these cross-functional teams who get together, and I'm sure all of you also must be having all these interest groups like the fitness group, the trekkers group, these various groups who would get together and pursue a particular hobby specifically around maintaining their health and fitness. There are various kinds of health-related challenges which is calendarized. There are interesting challenges that we throw, that can you not have sugar for a month, and all those people who do that would get some kind of a small token. Now, initially when we started all of this and the webinars and all the other health programs under the umbrella called Elevate, a few of my team members came and said that, what if they cheat? What if somebody has sugar? What if somebody actually doesn't do that many steps, and the person, they are all scientists, so they can very easily fudge it. So, my only answer was, who are we doing this for? And who is this person doing all of these challenges for? For the self, right? If I cheat and have sugar, so be it, that's fine, that's not a problem at all. The organization doesn't lose out anything, it's only the individual who loses out. So all of these processes are being now, or systems and groups are being put in place. There has to come a time when we need to gradually start bringing our business in, that is the team leaders in, and maybe getting them trained on identifying these red flags. Now here I'm touching upon a very sensitive topic of mental wellness. I'm sure most of you would have experienced that among the employees, there are gradually these, earlier we would not notice them as much, but post-COVID, because a lot of them have stayed away from families, they've stayed for long periods alone, there are certain mental wellness issues that people are facing today. So how to identify those red flags, how to see that there is this employee who's coming to work but is not socializing as much as he or she was in the past, but suddenly staying alone, aloof, maybe having a conversation, maybe trying to suggest why don't you connect with the EAP, the Employee Assistance Program, which is completely anonymous, and try to focus the attention and maybe let HR know. So these are the various kinds of processes we're trying to put in place. Most importantly, to also communicate all of this, that we are trying to do this for your health. We are trying to do this because we want you to be healthy. If you're healthy, if your family is healthy, you come to work, you're productive, the organization benefits. And while we do all of this, the other new trend that I'm experiencing as a professional, I also, by the way, take care of the social pillar of ESG, which Milind just touched upon, the environment, social governance initiatives. So under social pillar, some of you who are working on it, you also know that the purpose statement for the Gen Z has become very important. They just don't want to work for an organization who just makes medicines, sells cars and only that. They also want to be in an organization which has a social consciousness, which is not hurting the environment, which is very inclusive when it comes to the larger society, has proper transparent governance process in place. So these things are becoming very important to the new generation. They are very woke, they want to know what's happening and they want to associate themselves with these kind of organizations. So as HR today, I'm doing awareness programs on human rights, I'm having to do assessments on human rights, I'm having to work on employee volunteering programs, of course diversity and inclusion. So all of these new arenas, new facets which are coming up for us HR professionals, way beyond our day jobs of performance management and learning and development and leadership development, hirings, all of that we as such do, we are good at it. But these new vistas are opening up, and I think as HR folks, you should all open your arms and embrace these changes because we can add so much value. COVID has shown us, Daya just mentioned that COVID has shown us what kind of leadership HR can just get up, raise the hand and take the initiative and say, yes, we can run all of this and create or be the social, change, create the change in the society, in the organization, and be the so-called conscience of the organization, which I think all of us joined HR for. We always wanted to be the conscience. But there is an opportunity today available with ESG and with all of these new aspects that are coming up. Thanks to the Gen Z, and not directly but indirectly thanks to COVID too, which has made us far more aware of all of this. So I think that's about it for me. Thank you.
Very good evening, and let me sure that it will be only 2 or 3 minutes. होता क्या है? So होता ये है कि I have jotted down few points, and then Gite started with saying, okay, Ayo Shraddha, struck down my point. And again Jayanti and all, again struck down my point. I have to revise new points, but my presentation may not give you more emphasis. Maybe. I'm so sorry. It is more provoking presentation for all of you. I just wanted to say something particularly on career development. We have witnessed almost you, all of you are CHROs, great leaders of multinational companies, Indian multinationals. You have witnessed a journey how the role of the CHRO started. Let me take the average age, barring ladies, because I will say ladies as a 25 years girls. So average age is 40-45 is okay of this room. Average age
Without ladies.
Without ladies, that's what. So if you see, the average age is 45. We are going to retire in the next 15 years, around 15 years. And if I take back 20 years or 10 years back when you started your journey of CHRO, today we are in 23, and next 20 years, it is a huge expectation of the employer, of the country, of the society, from all of us. Reason, Milind has rightly brief about global is becoming a village, and most of the country are having most investment in India. I'm sure all of you who are sitting as a CHRO have already contributed a lot in terms of developing and contributing to the not only company's growth but also individual growth of the people as a career development. But let me ask you, who was your mentor? Do you have a mentor? Maybe you have, you don't have. The question is, what is promising you to go ahead? What is the energy which started you telling Monday morning, hey, come on, go and grab the opportunity of the day, rather than the boring Monday? So, friends, I just wanted to send some kind of provoking thoughts to you. Maybe it is boring, but still I wanted to say, India is becoming mega trend in terms of investment and all. You know that in next 25 years, when it becomes India at the rate 100 years, there will be huge investment. And that's the reason I'm having some kind of thoughts in terms of transformation of HR, the next generation. I'm a witness of those 1980s, 85 to 90s leaders who were not sharing something to the juniors. Hesitate करते थे लोग, नहीं share करते थे. You guys are sharing, you guys are giving opportunities. And here I wanted to say thank you. And not only thank you, because career development is a choice of individual passion according to me. It's not like, we can give this opportunity to others. Can you just go to the next slide? We have witnessed this ladder of CHRO. So there are some kind of specialist entry level positions, functions versus entry level, how we have come across these kind of like positions. What I wanted to tell you is that there's a lot of hurdle, practical difficulties. And each one of you have really contributed a well in your function and ma'am in your country also in Thailand. My last appeal to you in the next slide is only who is driving our own development. Who is the owners of the career development, and according to me, it is a passion of the employee, passion of the person. Maybe functional head supervisor can have some kind of guiding factor. HR as a facilitator, or HR can be a provoker in terms of developing and creating the atmosphere within the organization so that the employee can develop in one organization, can go into second, can go into third organization. My last appeal to all of you is that let's join hand and appreciate yourself for becoming great CHRO, and remember that people will remember you for next 20 years in case you are developing others' career. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ritesh. I would invite Milind Jadhav now to summarize. However, I want to go and sit there to listen to him, and I would request everyone, put up your attention together to listen to one of the veterans, or I would say the champion in HR fraternity. Thank you very much.
You set the expectation so high. I don't know whatever I'm going to say now to meet this. Thanks so much. Guys, very insightful thoughts and thought-provoking points that came up. Plenty of them, in fact. I don't know where to start because I don't want to keep you away from the bar. And then the long drive back home. Both the things. So what I'm trying to do is, I have two pieces of paper here. On one, I have a few questions. And what the CEOs are saying today, it resonates well with what the speakers have been talking about all along. The last 1 hour. Whatever they've said, everything gets encompassed in that. Okay? But Milind, I think, did a great job by setting the context and framing the whole thing properly, so that people don't meander and wander all over the place. That is something that I think stood out for me, because you go to many of these events, then each one of the speakers come and start talking about different things. They are all over the world, 360 degrees. You don't want that. You want to stay focused, and that's what I think set the context in that sense, right? So. That apart, I think some of the points that came up to your question, yeah, you talked about Sachin Tendulkar. We have someone in our midst here who has played against Sachin Tendulkar and perhaps won. Ranji Trophy. Does anyone know that? Does that person want to stand up and wave out to the crowd? Sangram Pawar. Sangram played against the likes of Sachin Tendulkar, okay, on the national stage, Ranji Trophy, and so it just occurred to me that that's what it is. Now we're talking about celebrating HR, right? Before we started the session, I was chatting with Arnabi and Rahul, and I was telling them about the story of one of the largest IT companies headquartered in Pune, IT services. I'm not going to name the company because I don't want to get sued. And I want to continue to have business from that company. As a consultant, of course. So, we talked about HR, right? We keep on beating ourselves up. There's no one who does a worse job than beating us than we do it to ourselves. No one does that. And therefore, I've been championing this cause, telling people, don't beat yourself up. And don't allow others to beat yourself. In my professional career, I did not. Pardon my French, but I kicked ass. Told the business leaders what they could do and where they could go if they didn't like it. But the point is, I was invited by the chairman and managing director of a company, a 15,000 people company, to coach their COO. The COO came back from the US where he was residing, and he used to run the global sales operations. And the CEO always used to be very critical of HR. Very, very critical, super critical of HR, always saying these guys don't know what they're doing, they're coming or going, no one knows. So he was offered that role. So why don't you become the CO and PO, Chief Operating and People Officer? That was his title. If you research it a little bit, you might find who it is. So we had a conversation, all of those things happened, the paper got done, and then we started talking about the way ahead. His first confession to me was, listen, I never imagined that HR could be so complex and complicated. I thought it was such an easy job. You just had to organize a few events, issue a few letters, and that was it. That was done. Period. Nothing more, nothing less. But now that I've come into this seat, I don't want to hold on to it for much longer. Please help me overcome some of these things, and then I'll happily hand it over to someone. And which is what he did in less than 9 months' time. Yeah, so if people say something to us, we know what to do. You know what to do. Push back as hard as you can. That's my, considered advice to you guys. Okay? Some of the things that got talked about, very nice things that got talked about, they're about loyalty. I think two of the speakers alluded to loyalty. Many years ago, while speaking at an SHRM conference, I had a slide on performance. And I said, people should be loyal to their careers, not to companies. Now, if they're loyal to their jobs, then they do a good job of it. And there's no question of, doing a bad job and getting lost and things like that. And I found one very nice cartoon, which I put on the screen. It says, I work for money. For loyalty, hire a dog. If you want loyalty from your employees, why don't you have some dogs? Keep them on the campus. As it is, you'll find plenty of people who like to, look after stray dogs. They'll get plenty of cafeteria food and everything else. They will wander around, they'll take them for walks and do everything else. So for loyalty, look at dogs. Another one that you talked about and a couple of other people talked about is about shades of grey. If you recall, I don't know how many people really follow Dave Ulrich and the HR competency model. He's been doing it since 1987. I will strongly urge people who have not seen it so far to go back and look at it. Since 1987, we are now sitting in 2023. It's going on for 35 years. They've come up with, I think, 7 or 8 models so far. The 2016 model the central theme was, for HR, paradox navigation. Paradox navigation. I think our job is about that. We need to know how to balance it out. And at the same time, protect the employee's interests as well as the company's interests. What did pandemic do? It created 4 sets of cultures in my book. One was the CHRO culture. Because those guys sat together and were huddling all the time. They were talking amongst themselves. They were into it. How to run the business, what to do, what not to do. So that one culture got created. Then there was this departmental culture. A person running a BU or whatever, profit center or whatever. Yeah? Depending on his personal style or her personal style of working, another culture got created. The third culture was the so-called support functions like us. I always tell people, we are not a support. You take the support out, the building will collapse. So don't please ever call me support. Okay? So the support functions had their own culture because you had to evolve a new way of thinking and doing, which is what you did. And kudos to you. I had stopped working by then. But kudos to all of you. A great, job well done by everybody, and as a consequence of which, every one of you has a seat at the table, so to say. Right? And the fourth one is that of individual contributors. People who are sitting at home and working. People who are working remotely. So navigating that paradox is going to be far more challenging for you. Whether hybrid is here to stay or not, whether it is the right thing to do or not, all other considerations, really, they're open. They're open and, each one to his own. That sort of thing, and that's going to happen. So the questions before you are, from, again, going back to what the speaker said, who owns the hiring? Can people answer, please? Who owns the hiring? HR owns the hiring? Who owns the hiring?
Business.
People are very silent, Milind. Either they are bored and bored to death, or something else. Who owns hiring? Guys? And who owns attrition, therefore? You have the answers, right? They are your people managers. Attrition is your business, not my business. I'll facilitate. Create an environment for you. Beyond that, you have to look after your people. Similarly, hiring decisions you are taking. So don't come and tell me later to fire someone in 6 months' time because I erred in judgment. Right? Something happening here, we'll pick it up later. Then, second very important point is we talked about, Gen Z, millennials. I think we need to reflect, all of us need to reflect on how Indians consume data and information. How are we consuming data? Because that is going to give you some solutions from a learning standpoint. What kind of learning mechanisms you want to put in place. It all is driven by how we consume information. Look at that. See how younger people are consuming information. The fourth question before you is, who owns again, therefore, career development and learning? Individuals, or the company, or someone else, some godfather, the client, or the boss. Yeah? And the fifth question is, how can we bring back Indianness into our corporate world and stop aping the West for everything, including the jargon? How can we bring back the Indianness, if at all anything is left of it? Yeah? Of course, this last question didn't come up. It's just my question to you. Okay, think about that. And finally, to close, what I hear as a consultant working with CEOs, what I hear from them is three things. One is they see a singular lack of ownership amongst people in their organizations. Singular lack of ownership, it's not my problem. Everywhere, someone else's problem. Not my problem, someone else's problem. I made a mistake because of something else. But I don't want to admit that I made a mistake. Okay? Number two, they say, is culture. And they're now very focused on culture because of all this entire thing about hybrid working and all of that stuff. And finally, they also talk about learnability. They know if they don't have the right learning systems and processes, they're going to lose out on a lot, especially on their targets and all that. Thank you. What next?
Yogesh. I'll quickly invite Mr. Yogesh Jadhav to share his thoughts on conceiving this CHRO Leadership Forum. Thank you.
Hello. Good evening to all. First of all, thank you very much for coming and joining this very valuable learning session. And first of all, I would like to thank our honorable all speaker for sharing their experience with all participants. About me, my name is Yogesh Jadhav. I am working in Pune from last 13 years. For HR fraternity, I have been working for last 8 years. So in these 8 years, I organized more than 17 HR conferences in Pune and Aurangabad. And while doing and organizing this, वो एक कहते हैं ना sky is limit. So HR में जब job करते तब मुझे कोई sky is limit नहीं दिखा. But जब ये association का मैंने सोचा, so what we can contribute to the fraternity. So this idea came in my mind in January 2019. So it's been 4 years I'm working on this association. So I called to Milind sir, एक ऐसा कोई association can we start where the all audience should be senior and we should organize a very knowledgeable learning session by subject experts. तो सर ने मुझे 2-3 फोरम के नाम कहे कि ये ऑलरेडी फोरम एग्जिस्ट करते हैं. तो वी हैड अ कपल ऑफ डिस्कशन ऑन ईमेल, ऑन फोन कॉल कि क्या नाम होना चाहिए, कैसा होना चाहिए. देन वी फाइनली फाइनलाइज दिस CHRO लीडरशिप फोरम. ये बात है जनवरी-फरवरी 2019. तब से लेके 15 दिन पहले तक मैंने मिलिंद सर को एक बार भी कॉल नहीं किया कि सर वो जो फाइनल किया था हम लोगों ने CHRO लीडरशिप फोरम, उसका क्या हुआ क्या नहीं हुआ, मैं वेदर आई एम वर्किंग ऑन दिस और नॉट, बट आई वाज कंटिन्यूसली वर्किंग ऑन दिस. गुरु का काम होता है शिष्य को मार्गदर्शन दिखाना, शिष्य का काम होता है उस रास्ते पे चलते रहना, चाहे फिर कितने प्रॉब्लम्स हो, कितने साल लगो, कितने दिन लगो, वो रास्ते पे चलते जाओ. द मोमेंट यू रीच ऑन दैट पॉइंट यू जस्ट हैव टू कॉल हिम, सर मैं ये जगह पहुंच गया हूँ, अभी व्हाट इज नेक्स्ट. सो 15 दिन पहले मैंने सर को फोन किया था, सर एवरीथिंग इज अरेंज ऑर्गेनाइज, अभी क्या करना है. तो सर ने एक ही क्वेश्चन पूछा, सब अरेंजमेंट हो गई. मैंने कहा यस. वो एस कहने के लिए मैं 100 बार नहीं 500 बार इंश्योर होता हूँ, श्योर होता हूँ, फिर वो कहता हूँ. तो सर ने कहा फिर कैसा करना क्या. मैंने कहा सर 3-4 स्पीकर्स मैन्युफैक्चरिंग से बुलाते हैं, 3-4 IT से बुलाते हैं. सो ऑब्जेक्टिव शुड बी लाइक ऑडियंस को दोनों इंडस्ट्री का एक्सपीरियंस सुनने को मिलेगा. तो सर ने कहा ठीक है, आई विल स्पीक विद कपल ऑफ स्पीकर. मैंने कहा आई विल स्पीक विद कपल ऑफ स्पीकर. दिस इज हाउ सेट द पैनल. एंड रियली मतलब जिस हिसाब से हमने सोचा था, मैं तो कंटिन्यू नहीं सुन पाया, बट और स्पीकर्स वाज रियली अमेजिंग. थैंक यू फॉर दिस ऑल. तो ये कहानी थी CHRO लीडरशिप फोरम की. उसके बाद अभी 8 साल का एक्सपीरियंस, 16-17 इवेंट्स हुए. CHRO लीडरशिप का फर्स्ट इवेंट लाइनअप करने के लिए 4 साल लगे. अभी नेक्स्ट इवेंट लाइनअप करने के लिए कितने दिन लगने चाहिए, कितने महीने लगने चाहिए, कितने साल? एग्जैक्टली 2 महीने. आवर नेक्स्ट इवेंट इज लाइनअप इन द मंथ ऑफ अप्रैल. 6 स्पीकर ऑलरेडी फाइनलाइज्ड. आउट ऑफ दैट 1 विल बी ट्रैवलिंग फ्रॉम मुंबई. सिर्फ 3 और स्पीकर ऐड करना है. दैट वी विल डू इट वेरी सून. डेट हम लोग आपको जल्दी बताएंगे. दिस इज ऑल अबाउट लाइक अ ग्रुप एक्टिविटी. ये जो हमने इवेंट किया ये 8-10 लोगों की ग्रुप एक्टिविटी है. बट इस हॉल में करीबन 70 सीनियर प्रोफेशनल आर सिटिंग. व्हेन वी वर्क लाइक ग्रुप मेंबर्स, तो आई एम टेलिंग यू साल भर का लर्निंग सेशन के इवेंट्स हम लोग अच्छे से लाइन अप कर पाएंगे विद ऑल योर सपोर्ट, गाइडेंस एंड कंट्रीब्यूशन. सो ये मैं पहले से करते इसलिए आ रहा हूँ कि आई हैव अ गुड सीनियर सपोर्ट मेंटर्स, जैसे कि मारला पल्ले सर है, सग्राम सर है, विनोद सर है, गीते सर है, और परम भैया हैं, जैसे कि ये लोग हमेशा सपोर्ट करते हैं। अभी इसमें एक बात मुझे सीखने को मिली है कि कभी भी सीनियर के साथ बात करते रहो और उसमें से छोटा छोटा कुछ तो एक एक पॉइंट उठाते जाओ। अभी मैं इतने लोगों से बात करता तो आई हैव ऑलवेज स्टॉक, और वो स्टॉक को कैसे इंप्लीमेंट करना है वो मैं सोचते रहता हूँ हमेशा। सो दिस इज व्हाट दिस CHRO लीडरशिप फोरम। आई वुड रियली लाइक टू थैंक आवर स्पॉन्सर्स, जो कौशल जी है फ्रॉम ऑक्सफोर्ड। मैंने काफ़ी इवेंट्स में काफ़ी स्पॉन्सर के साथ काम किया है, बट कौशल जी इज द पर्सन लाइक जो जैसे ओनरशिप की बात की सर ने, वैसा ये इवेंट जैसे कि योगेश का है ही नहीं, सब 100% उन्होंने सब देखा, सब किया। आई रियली अप्रिशिएट। एंड आवर सेकंड स्पॉन्सर इज मिस्टर महेश फ्रॉम CIT, वेरी पेशेंट गाय, वेरी पेशेंट गाय। उन्होंने, हम लोग इस इवेंट का प्लानिंग 4 महीने से कर रहे हैं, कितने तो बार डेट्स चेंज की होंगी, बट ही इज ऑलवेज सपोर्टिव। ठीक है, अब ठीक है, नेक्स्ट टाइम ठीक है, नेक्स्ट टाइम, दिस इज ऑल। एंड आई वुड लाइक टू अगेन थैंक्स टू अमरीश जी for hosting this wonderful event. Looking forward to learn from each one of you. Thank you very much for attending today's event. Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Mahesh Phadke from CIT to share his thoughts. Our supporter for this event, Mr. Mahesh Phadke.
Actually, it's already 9:30 plus, so we will not take much time. I request to start our presentation. Mr. Satish, with our sales head, will go just complete it within 5 minutes. Then we will continue for the next program. Yes.
Thank you, Mahesh. And there is Satish, or Ayush Satish. So it started with Ayush Shraddha, it is now Ayush or Satish. Basically, I am actually shocked because the whole room is full of HR heads and I'm on the other side, kind of a mole in this room. So I know one thing for sure, डर इधर भी है, डर उधर भी है, आग उधर भी लगी है, आग इधर भी लगी है. So that's on the lighter part. So we are from Gite. Most of the things that we are going to cover has been covered by Wadode sir. I'll just touch upon a couple of things which we are probably doing. As Milind, I'm robbing a couple of lines from Milind sir. It's like compliance किसने कर रहा है? आप लोगों ने करना है. Penalties किसने भरना है? आप लोगों ने करना है. So we are just facilitating this. We are helping you comply. We are helping you do all the job which probably you would be possibly doing, and we are helping you acquire the layer at the bottom of the pyramid, which is apprenticeships. So Wadode sir has already covered a lot on that. About Gite, again, a lot of people talked about ChatGPT. Okay, what does ChatGPT tell about Gite? Gite is probably incorporated in 2011, more into skill development and workforce solutions. We are a leader in employability training and recognized by AM as the top ranked service provider for promoting this program, promoting NATs and NAPs especially. These are the set of clients that we are working with. Why they work with us is because the kind of value adds we bring in. We have earned our bragging rights basically while working with these guys, because it's not through marketing or not through any other effort that we are getting these customers. It's more because of the word of mouth. So we kind of take pride in that fact. Again, I need not explain more about this NAPs and NATs. It has been already explained. But yes, what you all need to know, it is mandatory and it is not an optional thing which you need to have. You have to comply to this, and any company about 30 employees, having more than 30 employees, you need to comply to it. A brief about NAPs and board programs. There's another one which is designated trade, but I'm not touching upon that. The inclusion is more of the ITI candidates out there. What you should really look about over here is that you stand to gain approx 30%, that is your cost savings which might happen if you kind of engage in this program. which most of the companies do not do not realize it. So that's something which you need to note, that while you are complying to it, you are actually saving a lot of cost as well. Also to note that the amount you spend on this whole program beyond complying, this would actually qualify for CSR activities. So there's nothing much that you're going to incur on this. What you're going to gain is only a lot of benefits out of it. Listed are the benefits for the employers as well as the apprentices. It is quite self-explanatory. Maybe what you do is comply to it. At lower costs, build a future talent pool. Of course, nothing, doesn't need to be expressed or said. And obviously, you get reimbursed to do this. So that's the incentive thing which the government is promoting. Of course, I mentioned about the CSR activity. Just an example, an illustration saying that, okay, how does it financially benefit the establishments? Just compare it, if you are going to employ almost around 100 apprentices, you can actually benefit by earning around 18 lakhs from this scheme. So that's under NAPS. Under NAPS, you are probably getting 4,500 paid for each and every apprentice that you engage with, amounting to 54 lakhs per 100 apprentices. So the amount is huge. You are incentivized for it. So why not go and comply with it? So that's something which we request you all. And obviously, if you could actually go do this up to 15% of your headcount, the benefit is massive. Just do the math, and we are there to help you out to understand the benefit of it. It's a massive benefit if you are going to leverage on this and engage the benefits on it, engage the apprentices. This is basically what we do. We are the facilitators. We act as an advisors to our customers. We try to help them with defining the job roles, defining the curriculum, get it approved from the government. We do a complete end-to-end job for you, so you don't have to worry about complying over here. You just focus on your core activities. So this includes advisory, where we help you understand how you could possibly implement the program. We do the recruitments for you, the entire screening process, the evaluation process, and the onboarding process. We do the complete training for them. We have a self-developed LMS in-house, which does a lot of, it also does the evidence-based compliance. So all the evidences are stored, so anytime an audit happens, you have the evidences stored within your system. The candidates could actually refer to the study material whenever they would want to, and they could do at the self-paced method. The apprentices or the candidates can have their own forums and communities where they could participate and exchange ideas as well. Apart from training, compliance, obviously that's the primary objective. We help you do the compliance completely. Don't have to worry about it at all. A lot of companies have been benefited with it. They are complying to it and financially gained as well. One point which is not listed out here, we can help you in the outplacements as well. So that's something which we can help you with the, that's an added value from our side. Yeah, so we are open to take any questions at any point in time if there are.
The apprenticeship means the industry says that is only for engineering or automobile companies. But under apprenticeship, each and every sector is covered, from a casual to a senior or middle management. Any designation can be apprentice. Within the colleges, we learn some subjects, and we are working in a specific designation. There are some competencies, technical and behavioral. And the transition from a college graduate or fresher to an workman or a specific executive or manager or leader, that's an apprenticeship program. We are having our various customers. There are some IT giants also there. And one of our clients that apps in your mobile. So basically, when they want to introduce their concept in India, we developed data analytics, project management, IT support engineer, digital marketing, that kind of apprenticeship curriculum for that organization with some specific duration of boot camp. After that, OGT, continuous evolution, competency mapping, like that way. So looking at the apprenticeship program as a traditional way, you can even engage even regular candidates or hiring under apprenticeship. Every organization conducts some L&D activities. We can create a curriculum, or might be created curriculum. We can get approval from ministry. It's a clear open act. It is not that we have to choose any job role from a listed program. We can create as per our requirement. We can create our curriculum, and we can set the duration for 12 months, 24 months, 36 months, and we can comply that. And there are some reimbursement activity from government side. So any expenses toward that L&D activity can be covered from that reimbursement cost. So that is some additional information we want to share with you. And if there are any questions, we are here, or Mr. Wadode sir is there, and we can discuss here or at the time of dinner. Thank you.
One announcement actually in regard to this implementing this. Say for example, this Tech Mahindra, TCS, then even Capgemini, and lot many are there. Around 70 major establishments from IT sector are implementing this scheme of NATS. So in every sector, of course, in this IT also it is there. One more announcement actually, to support the industries to carry out the compliances, Board of Apprenticeship Training has impaneled few of the organization as a third-party aggregators. So they will come to you, they will support you in compliance issues. So CIT is one of the impaneled TPA, and they are working for NATS now. And they are having a very good, what we can say, our experience is also very good with CIT, because end-to-end solutions they have given, and following the entire rules and laws, abiding the laws, they carried out all the activities. So that way I can say that you can rely on CIT for implementation of NATS, of course. Thank you. Yes, sir.
The government has started releasing the fund towards the last those people who completed their period.
Those stipend on that 1500 or 3500 or so, has that been started? Because I heard some time back, little longer time, but would like to know, because you are selling the idea. Idea is good. Some may like to have, some may like to implement, some may like to think. So there has been some proposal. People have used those, this platform. They hired, but last 2.5 years I've seen they have not got it. So I'm not sure today's status, but please make aware everybody.
As far as the NATS is concerned, Board of Apprenticeship Training is reimbursing since 1969. So reimbursement was the basic concept of apprenticeship training with board for graduate and diploma engineers. We are reimbursing since 1969, since the inception of our organization. So as far as board is concerned, there is no pending claims with us. So right from 1969, we are regularly reimbursing all the establishments. This year, we are having around 125 crores to reimburse. Out of that, around 78 crores we are already reimbursed. And we are waiting for the bills now. So even daily basis, we are reimbursing. So if your claim comes to me in the morning, evening you will get the payment. So that is the situation now. As your question may be related to NAPS. So in case of NAPS, reimbursement has started since 2016. 2014 the act got amended, and then they started the reimbursement, partial reimbursement of 1500. But they are having the issues because that process of reimbursement is not streamlined with them. But with both, it is since long. So it is a very streamlined process, and even many of you may vouch for that. We are regularly reimbursing. So there is no pendency at our end for reimbursement. Rather, on day basis, we are reimbursing nowadays.
Our activity, the trend pool or skilled manpower is for our SMEs, MSMEs partner who are our service providers. And that there is a specific social responsibility of
a large organization to utilize their CSR fund under apprenticeship and create a pool of skilled manpower to them also and parallelly to their suppliers also. That is from my side. Thank you.
So we can invite the Oxford Golf Resort team to share a few thoughts. Thank you so much for being a beautiful host for today's evening. Team from Oxford Golf Resort.
Good evening everyone, welcome to Oxford Golf Resort. Hope you all are having a great time. Myself Sakshi representing Oxford Golf Resort for a brief introduction about the property. I'll take a few minutes of yours to show one short video about Oxford Golf Resort. Thank you all for watching the video. Talking about Oxford Group, it established in 1989. Our vision was to deliver healthy, inspired living. The results are visible today, not just in 3 million square feet of successful development, but also Oxford Group is developing Pune's largest township project with over 1,000 acres under development. Oxford Group is diversified in real estate, hospitality, and also owns and runs India's finest 18 holes award-winning championship golf course. Speaking about hospitality, Oxford Group always had a vision to serve 5-star hospitality to all. The O Hotel, which is at Koregaon Park, Pune, and Candoling Beach, Goa, is owned and managed by Oxford. Oxford Golf Resort has multiple venues for conferences and events. Also in membership, we are having multiple options. We also conduct golf tournaments, offer sponsorships, as well as room facilities. As I briefed you earlier about real estate, this is one of our ongoing projects The iconic one. The iconic one are the golf view condos with compact cluster featuring studios and one-bedroom apartments. It is ground plus 12-story tower. It is ground plus 12-story tower and having 14 apartments each floor facing the golf course. In front of you is the layout for the studio apartment. The saleable area for this is 692 square feet. Total deal value for studio apartment goes around approx 87 lakhs. Next we are having one bedroom gold edition. Sellable area is around 962 square feet. Total deal value for one bedroom gold edition goes around 1.26 crore. Both apartments' total deal value includes stamp duty, registration, other charges and membership for 25 years cost approx 14 lakhs. Coming to the best part about this project is the revenue share module. Revenue share module is from ground to 5th floor and 6th to 12th floor is the outright purchase. There are multiple benefits in the revenue share module. You will be getting 30% top line revenue for all the owners. In a year, you will be getting 30 nights free, 30 free room rides and enjoy your holiday home maintenance free. And also for the revenue share model, resort membership benefits are also applicable. Now I am handing over to my colleague for further information about resort facility. Thank you. You have a great evening.
Thank you, Sakshi. I think Sakshi has given you all the information, Sakshi. Thank you. You have gone through everything you have covered. Okay, I would like to also just put it across to you. My name is Anil. I look after this Oxford Golf Resort as a senior my sales manager. So we have got 70 rooms and a presidential suite to offer you. And these rooms are all centrally air conditioned with Wi-Fi powder room. It has got kitchenette and safety locker, which is fantastic for your staycation with your family as well as for the corporates. So we have got many conferences hall. So just to list out, we have got ballroom, chalet lawn, pro shop lawn, poolside, tee off, T2, T3, T4. These are all there for the residential conferences that we do for corporates. We have a lot of service to offer you. We have got conference which is day and offsite, both we do cover. Also we do annual day events. We do product launches, golf clinic, golf tournaments. We can create private dinner at the poolside. We do barbecue dinner. We would request you to come and enjoy. Do visit us. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day.
Thank you so much. And if today night you don't feel like going back, so you need to contact Anil for making the arrangements. Thank you so much. It's time to facilitate our guest of honor, Shri Gite. May I request her? I'll request Milind Jadhav to facilitate.
Organised to start the conference next time at 6 o'clock.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Okay.
Please come on dais and everybody.
First, Kaushal-ji, just for vote of thanks.
Yeah.
Kaushal-ji.
Mr. Kaushal Vora, General Manager, Oxford Group for
New faces, and we hope you all will find this experience a unique one. So once again, thank you so much for joining us for this HR meet and wishing you a harvest and good health and good times. Please enjoy the food and drinks. It's been now. Thank you very much. Once again.
Ready? 5. Red.
स्माइल करना है सबको, स्माइल। ओके।